today we are going to be talking about how to do some searching in the database Web of Science. To start, I'm on the library's homepage, library.tamucc.edu, and to get to the databases, under the quick search box here, we have this button called Databases, and this will open up a new tab. And as you can see, the library has access to over 340 databases. I can narrow down the database I'm looking for by looking at a particular subject area, such as biology or engineering. I could look for a certain database type. If I'm only looking for dissertations and theses, for example, I could narrow down that way. I can also look using the alphabet. I'm looking for Web of Science, or I can search for it in the top, Web of Science, and search for it that way. We do ask that you get to databases using the library's website, because if you just Google Web of Science and try to log in, it probably won't let you. But if you do it from the library's website and you click here, it will probably ask you to log in, and you can do that using Duo, using your login that you use for Blackboard. So here I'm at the Web of Science's database homepage. It's telling me that I'm searching within the database Web of Science core collection, and you can see here what all of that is that I'm looking at. They show you an example of how to do a search. So if your topic is oil spills in the Mediterranean, it's saying you can just type in oil spill, asterisk, Mediterranean. That little asterisk is asking the database to give results that have the word spill as the root word. So it could be oil spill, it could be oil spills. We're going to go into a little bit more of this kind of searching. So I'm going to search for PPE, or personal protective equipment. These obviously mean the same thing. One is just an acronym, one is the full phrase of what we're referring to. I've put the words in quotation marks to tell the database that I'm looking for these 3 words to show up as a phrase, rather than just these 3 words randomly. The database might be smart enough to give them back to me all 3 together, but it might give me some, references to equipment that doesn't refer to personal protective equipment. I've also put in the or as capitals, because I am not looking for the word or to appear in my search results. I am looking for PPE or personal protective equipment to appear in my search results. I'm also going to add a row. So I could have done PPE in one box, added a row, and said or, and added personal protective equipment in another box, but I knew that that's what I was looking for, and I typed in or in all caps. But I've added and now I'm going to say SARS-CoV-2 or COVID-19 or coronavirus. So again, the same thing that I'm using or to say, these all kind of mean the same thing. So I'm not looking for all 3 of these words or phrases to show up in my results, but one of these to show up. So I have 2 things with or. I'm looking for one of these 2 things, and I'm looking for one of these 3 things, but I'm also looking for one from each category, which is where and comes in. Most of the time you think and is expanding what you're discussing. So if I like birds and fish and dogs and cats, that's a long list. But if I'm asking a database to give me results with all of those things, I'm going to get a lot fewer results. So and narrows down things, whereas or can potentially expand them. There are a few other ways to limit my results or narrow them down, but I'm going to do that after I hit search so that we can get a feel for how many search results we will have. So I have 996 results. I'm probably not going to sit here and read all of them. I can narrow things down. I can look at publication years. For a topic as new as coronavirus, I'm probably not going to be able to narrow it down too far using that. As you can see, 945 of our 996 are from this year in which we have known about coronavirus, this particular COVID-19 version. Narrowed it down by 945. You can also narrow down by document type. So this is what, this is one of my favorite things about Web of Science. You might have an assignment or an instructor, professor who asks you for a certain number of research articles and a certain number of review articles. Sometimes it's hard to tell the difference, and you really have to know what you're looking for to see if it's a review or an original research article. This database tells you exactly what is what. So you can say, I'm only looking for original research, an article that will have a methods section, it will discuss the data that it collected, things like that. Or you can say, I'm only looking for review articles, things that there is no original research done, it is just looking for kind of an expanded lit review. So I'm looking for both in my search here, but I think I excluded things like encyclopedia references and book chapters and things like that. I just want a article. So as you can see, there are a few other ways to narrow down if you are looking for it that way. If you're looking for a particular geographic area in which the research is done, or if you are looking for a particular language, most of these are in English, but to just right away exclude things that aren't, we can refine that way. Okay. So that's a little bit about refining using Web of Science. I still have 730. I'm probably not going to read all of those, but I kind of want to take a look at what I've got. So as you can see here at the top, you can change the way the articles are sorted. So I have them sorted by times cited, but first I want to take a look by date because I want to show you one of the things I don't necessarily like about Web of Science. So what I do like is that I can look for review articles and research articles. What I don't like is that it's kind of teasing me by saying this article will come out and it will be published at the end of this year. Well, if my paper is due before December 31st, or my project, whatever I'm working on, why am I doing this research? I might not be able to wait that long. So date from most recent, or in this case, in the future, to last, published the longest time ago, might be not the best way to look for things. But you can see here this was published yesterday, and you should be able to find it whether or not it's on this database. So that's something to keep in mind. And I do appreciate that it highlights the date. So it's telling me that you're either getting early access to it or it hasn't actually been published yet. So you could have it where it's organized by times cited. And what this means when we say this article has been cited 193 times is that this title here has been cited in 193 other articles in this collection. So it might have been cited more than that, but this collection, it knows where it's been cited. So you can see there's this hot paper and this highly cited paper. So it wins like Web of Science awards because it is currently very popular. So one way to look is through by date. Another way to look is by times cited. You can also choose relevance. Anytime a database, including Google, says it's organized by relevance, that's an algorithm that humans created, so it's probably flawed in some way, shape, or form, but it is an option to use. So I'm going to look at this article here. I'm not saying that this article is perfect for what my original search terms were. I'm just showing you the aspects of the database at this point in time. So here I have all of the information I need to cite it. I have the title, I have the authors, I have the journal publication, the volume, issue, page numbers, the DOI, and I have the document type. This is a review. So if your professor has asked for original research articles only, this one would not be able to be included. I have an abstract, which kind of tells me a summary of what the article is about. And I have some keywords, which might help me in the future. If I clicked this, it would search everything that an author has provided COVID-19 as a keyword within the database of Web of Science. I have some more information, and down here I have the cited references of the paper. So these are references within the paper that the authors have cited. Some databases will also show you who has cited, like this one. This article has been cited 193 times, so you can look at how this article has been used in other folks' research. You might have noticed, however, that I don't actually have a place where I can click download the PDF. That's really my end goal, probably, is that I want to actually read the entire article. Here at the top, we have check for full text at Bell Library. This will open up a new tab. It will hopefully tell me that yes, we do have it and how I can get it. So this time it worked perfectly. This is what I want. I can download the PDF. If something doesn't show up in this left-hand page, over here on the right, I had to do this last week where I just had to click blank screen and it opened it in a new tab. So there was just something wrong with the way the different databases or different journals were talking to each other, and I just had to click that and it worked. It's kind of like a pop-up blocker or something like that. I can also export this from here, and I can use RefWorks. I could also email myself, and I can put it in APA citation style and email it that way to myself, or to if I'm working in a group, or if I need to ask my professor a question about it, I can email it that way. And if that doesn't work, if there's no way for the library to have access to it, there are some more options. You could look if the publisher of the article has, if it's free through the publisher, you can look it up through Google Scholar. But you can always, never, please, once you're a student, if you never pay for access to an article, you can always ask the library to get access to an article from another library, and we can almost always get it for you, unless it's, going to be published in October of 2020. We can't get something that hasn't been published yet, unfortunately. If you have any questions about anything we went over in this little video tutorial or anything else library related, you can always get in contact with us in a myriad of ways on our library homepage. You can chat with us, call us, text us, email us,